welcome to a very cool Turf Moor. It's FA Cup round 3 this afternoon, and Burnley want to bury those statistics of 5 defeats on the bounce. Scunthorpe United are the visitors today. Ironically, the team that Burnley beat last campaign, the last game of the season for Burnley to gain promotion to Division 1. Let me talk about the mascot first. Today's mascot is Michael Bradshaw. He's aged 9. He goes to St Mary's Magdalene Church in Burnley. And when Michael is not chomping on burgers and hot dogs and swinging orange tango, he enjoys football. Swimming and scrapping with his brothers is his hobbies. Michael's favourite player is Ian Moore and Paul Weller. So Michael, have a good day with the Clarets this afternoon. Let's hope it's a move into the next round, into round 4. Let me tell you about the sides. First of all, in goal for Burnley, number 34, Michopoulos. 3 is Mitchell Thomas. Ian Cox is 32. Steve Davis, the captain, at 5. Paul Weller at 18. Paul Smith at 17. Micky Mellon at 4. Back in midfield after suspension is number 8, Paul Cook. Up front at 16 is Ian Moore, along with John Mullin at 30, and completing the lineup at 15 is Graham Branch. Paul Crichton, Ronnie Jepson, Glenn Little, Andy Payton and Lenny Johnrose on the bench this afternoon for the Clarets. Now for the visitors, Scunthorpe United, Thomas Evans in goal, 2 Paul Harsley, 3 Andrew Dawson, Nathan Stanton at 4, 5 Mark Jackson, 6 Lárusson, 8 Lee Hodges, 9 Guy Ipoua, 10 Stephen Torpey, 11 Alex Calvo Garci and 18 Russ Wilcox. On the bench for Scunthorpe United is Flickin, Stamp, Graves, Morrison and Herrick. So there it is. We have a competition here which is one of the best in the world, the FA Cup. Let's hope Burnley can just get through to the next round. Referee is Mr. G. Frankland, and with me summarising this afternoon is Terry Butterworth. Terry, a vital, I'd like it to be a league match, but vital that Burnley get back in league ways, their winning ways.
Dead right, David. It's amazing how some teams seem to crop up in your life so often. It doesn't seem too many years ago that we were watching Scunthorpe in a cup match here against Accrington Stanley on the Sunday, and then again we played them last year on Sky, the year before on the FA Cup, when we were beaten with a terrific performance in the Scunthorpe goal by Perez, and of course last season to win promotion round at the old new showground, I think it's called, over in Scunthorpe. And so Scunthorpe have cropped up a lot recently. In some ways, I'm glad it's not a league game, David, because I expect us to win today, and I expect us to win well, strengthened by the return of Stevie Davis, and I think that a victory today is a shot in the arm, and then on we go back into the league. Anyway, kick off, and he's going to have a dip from there straight away, swerving ball, and it's a pity there, in some respects, that Scunthorpe didn't have a player following up because it got forward so quickly, because Michopoulos spilled it a bit.
Thank you, Terry. Yes, and Burnley on the attack now. On this inside right channel, it's Ian Moore in the box. He needs support, and that ball sprayed wide of Paul Weller, and that's a throw into the visitors here, Scunthorpe United. Yes, Steve Davis back after suspension. That is good news. And also, as I said, Paul Cook returns after suspension as well. Andy Payton's on the bench, but obviously he can come on and get an opportunity to score later in the game. We've got Glenn Little, who's fighting that hamstring injury. Hopefully he's going to be fit very, very soon, and hopefully it may be today. That ball has gone out once again on that far side, and the Clarets have that throw-in. Skipper Steve Davis to take it just into the Scunthorpe half there. Burnley attacking the Jimmy Mack stand. Micky Mellon in possession for Burnley. Squares it up here for Paul Cook. Wide is Paul Smith. Can he use that option, Paul Cook? He doesn't. He puts it into the middle, looking for Graham Branch there. And certainly ticked away by Lárusson. And that's Steve Davis again for Burnley, but the green shirts of Scunthorpe here with Ipoua. Ipoua on the right-hand side. Powerful player. edge of the area, crosses in, oh, and an opportunity for Scunthorpe to score, and they have done, and that is another disastrous move by the Clarets. It's Lee Hodges, the man that scored at Scunthorpe at the end of the last campaign.
Super goal, David, did men at the back. He's the man who put it in, Lee Hodges, but the provider was Guy Ipoua. It's unfortunate there that Mitchell Thomas missed the ball on the halfway line. It fell to him, he did a dummy, did he pour out wide, took it, had a look up, found the man spare. A man had taken the Burnley defenders near post, over, finished with great aplomb. That's Lee Hodges. He did it last year, he's done it again today. Clarets have it all to do.
That's a real shocker. Under 2 minutes then, Scunthorpe have taken lead. Here's Ian Moore in the penalty area, inside left channel. Twists and turns, but he can't keep his feet, Ian Moore. But he's won the Clarets a throw-in right down by the corner flag here. Paul Smith to take it. Paul Cook gives it in back. Smith crosses in, that's a deflection. That is a corner to the Clarets.
The goal has certainly livened up the Burnley crowd, David, because they were very, very muted, and it's a great following from Scunthorpe because it's a big game for them, and they've gone 1-0 up, and they're full of it at the moment. First corner to the Clarets.
Yeah, it's going to be Micky Mellon to take this corner right to the back post. Swirling wind. There's Ian Cox. A foul by Ian Cox and a free kick to Scunthorpe United. Well, that is a shock, and the way things have been going for Burnley, really not surprised. I'll just bring ex-Claret Ray Turnington to tell us what he thought about that goal for Scunthorpe, Ray.
Well, David, I think that was absolutely what we call rank bad defending by the Burnley defence there. First of all, he had a missed kick nearly on the halfway line. Another sort of like last-ditch tackle where you always stand on your feet. And you can only describe it as bad defending by Burnley, which gives Scunthorpe. But it'll make a game of it now, that's for sure.
Thanks, Ray. Certainly will, as the Clarets in possession with that throw-in. Here's Graham Branch, leaves it again for Paul Smith. First time ball from Smith. Micky Mellon into the box, loops it over the head of the goalkeeper perhaps, but not just enough. Thomas Evans had that one under control, the Scunthorpe keeper, and a break on that far side. It looks like again for Scunthorpe United. Hodges and then finds Lárusson. Lárusson sprays it to this near side, right-hand side, too strong. Paul Harsley couldn't catch that one. And it's a lot different from the sunshine at the Scunthorpe ground last campaign, Terry.
Yeah, it is, and what we've got to be careful, David, of not doing is going gung-ho and straight at it. OK, play with tempo, play with enthusiasm, get your men up forward, but remember, we cannot concede a second.
Oops, vitally important that one as well. Harsley goes up, there's John Mullin back in the side for, looks like a full game for the man that used to play for Sunderland, as well as Burnley before that. Micky Mullin, crowded out, but Mellon gets it back for Burnley. Screaming for the ball is Paul Weller on the right-hand side. He gets possession, gets a foul against him. Paul Weller, free kick just inside the Burnley half as Burnley venture to move forward. That's not in that area, Paul. It's got to be in the Burnley half, I'm afraid, as Steve Davis lines himself up to take this free kick for the Clarets. It's not good news at the moment. FA Cup round 3, Burnley 0, Scunthorpe United 1. Hodges on 2 minutes for the visitors, and that ball's still in play on that far side. The ball whipped out of play at the Bob Lord stand over on that far side. Paul Cook takes, well, he was going to take a free, a quickly taken throw in. Mullin gives it back for Weller. Weller tries to stab it through again, but again the green shirts of Scunthorpe have it. Paul Cook gets possession for the Clarets, just lifts it in for Cox. Cox plays it forward again, looking for Weller, but the ball back with the Scunthorpe keeper Thomas Evans as he looks up and gives it a kick. Both goalkeepers wearing bright yellow jerseys this afternoon as the Clarets pick it up with Mellon on the halfway line. Mellon racing to that far side, looking for options, lays it down to John Mullin. Mullin holds it up, gives it back for Mellon. Mellon stabs it forward here for Ian Moore. Ian Moore turns well. He's brought down, free kick to the Clarets inside right channel. Quickly taken free kick. Weller's cross, claims for handball not given, but a corner to the Clarets.
Yeah, good turn by Moore, David, and that wins us. I think it's our third corner already in the match. Cocker, Scunthorpe fans in the cricket field end at the moment, and the Clarets fans really have to get behind them. I don't think there's 10,000 on, David. Corner to the Clarets.
Thank you, Terry. It's going to be Paul Smith on that far side to take it. A swirling ball, dangerous one, Cox! And it's cleared off the line, and Ian Cox header, and I thought that was going to be the equaliser. Ian Cox did well, a good corner from Paul Smith, and it's corner number 2 to Burnley.
Good defending that, David, because how many times nowadays do we see full-backs taking a vacation from underline? Corner comes in.
Oh, it looks like a diving header there, and perhaps I thought hands had got to it, but it's Ian Cox up in the attack for the Clarets. Paul Cook's behind him in support, but Cox is going to take him on, and a throw into Burnley again on this left-hand side. Burnley attacking the Jimmy Mack stand here at Turf Moor. FA Cup round 3 as Paul Cook into the box. There's Mitchell Thomas, cleared by Harsley. Here's John Mullin now. Mullin got pace. Has he got the room? That's the big question. Corner. Oh, the referee's given a goal kick. Well, that was obviously a corner in our eyes, the vantage point of the Crow's Nest, but I'm afraid it's Thomas Evans who will have to take this goal kick for Scunthorpe.
And after 10 minutes, David, I'm just beginning to think, what chance history repeating itself? Hodges got the first goal over there on that Super Day last May. He scored again here at the Turf Moor. Micky Mellon, can he equalise? And Glenn Little come off the bench to sum it up. That's history repeating itself.
Definitely a deja vu. Would that be? That will do us as long as we get into round 4. Evans takes the kick for Scunthorpe United. Here's Paul Smith back in the side after a long injury layoff, and Harsley picks it up. Free kick given against Scunthorpe. And Burnley all up for quickly taking free kicks. Guy Ipoua just looks at the ball. Going to be Steve Davis to come up to take this free kick, and a word from the referee, Mr. Frankland. In fact, more than a word, a booking for Guy Ipoua. Sportsmanship, gamesmanship, whatever you want to call it. So the free kick will be taken eventually now. So Guy Ipoua in the referee's notebook, he goes up to him. He wants to take it further into the half, and the referee, Mr. Frankland, he's marking out the paces. He's coming way forward. Free kick will be taken from Paul Cook. We'll just wait for this, Terry, and then we'll come in with this one. It's Paul Cook to take it. Burnley need to get an early equaliser here. Paul Cook's in. Mellon, deflection, over the top, corner.
I was just going to say, with that incident there, David, with Guy Ipoua, it's a bit harsh, really. But there again, no wonder Brian Laws and managers rip their hair out, because it's a needless booking, and he's thinking, right, one silly tackle now, and the lad is off. And he's the provider a minute since corner's taken.
It's taken out wide, Smith plays it in. Oh! And the ball back with Paul Cook headed forward. The referee has to get out of the way very quickly, very smartly, as Scunthorpe clear it to the halfway line. Here's Paul Weller into the Scunthorpe half, right-hand side. And Mellon looks up, cross comes in from Mellon. Davis is up there with the head, and that goes out for a corner. Another corner, 5 corners so far for the Clarets, as this is to be taken on the left-hand side. Mellon again. Corners to the Clarets, 1 goal to Scunthorpe, all important statistics, as Mellon takes yet another one here. Left-hand side, right to the back post. Davis is up there. Down goes Davis. Another corner, this time at the far side. Burnley's right. Paul Cook electing to take this one. It's all pressure from the home side, but Scunthorpe have the all-important goal at the moment. Paul Cook leaves it. It's going to be Paul Smith. All the left footers over on the right-hand side. And they're going to swing him in as Paul Smith attempts to take another one. A real bender. A good one, Davis! Oh, and it's just wide from Steve Davis from 8 yards. But a great corner again from Paul Smith.
Yeah, great corner that. Hit with pace, found Stevie Davis. He could only glance it, and unfortunately for the Clarets, just wide. But he'll be thinking there, if only. And I'm thinking if only too.
Well, it's up to the Clarets to put the pressure on to get the goals. They've got to start here today. We know the statistics of the 5 matches. We don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about Burnley moving forward. Paul Cook in with a header. Here's Paul Smith. High in the sky. Over on the right-hand side. Paul Weller can't get that one. It's Hodges again on the far side for Scunthorpe United. Tricky player. Dispossessed. Mellon for the Clarets in the centre circle. Oh, it's not a good ball. He was looking for Mullin. And Grimsby once again in their green shirts come away, this time with Lárusson down the right-hand side with Ipoua. He's a quick, nimble player for his size. Back again to Harsley. Harsley balloons it high. That will be Nikolaos' catch. And he launches it right down the inside right channel. Graham Branch gets a good header on, but it's a little too long for Ian Moore. Thomas Evans collects with his feet. And at the moment, about up to 12 minutes gone here at the Turf. Burnley 0, Scunthorpe United 1, FA Cup round 3. Live commentary from Turf Moor. Evans just outside his area, kicks long right down the inside left channel on this occasion for the visitors. That's gone out for a Scunthorpe throw-in, and right outside the Burnley dugout there. About the subs: Paul Crichton, Ronnie Jepson, Glenn Little, Andy Payton and Lenny Johnrose on the bench for the Clarets this afternoon. There's Scunthorpe again. Lárusson plays it in. The big centre-back Jackson plays it up. The ball's free. Mellon will pick it up. Davis. Mullin lays it off here for Paul Cook. Cook lays a nice ball in again. Steve Davis running into that one. Just ran away from the Burnley captain, right into the arms of Thomas Evans, the Scunthorpe goalkeeper, as he just puts the ball on the 18-yard line, gives it a good kick past the halfway line. That was Ian Cox going in. No, it was Mitchell Thomas. Here's Paul Smith. Oh, Paul Smith dispossessed, dangerous position for him, and must be a diving tackle. A good save from Michopoulos, the Burnley goalkeeper. A mistake again, and it was Lee Hodges who was looking for his second goal and Scunthorpe's second, but a good save from Nick the Greek. And Paul Smith's mistake, well, he lives to telling the story. Hodges again, left-hand side. Oceans of space for the little man. Cross comes in, cut out by Thomas. He gets another bite of the cherry. Hodges into the area. Cross comes in from him, and Paul Smith clears from 6 yards. Goodness me, they're finding loads of space, are the visitors. Hodges again, lays it off this time for Alex Calvo. Oh, and this could be dangerous. This is suicide. Burnley are in all sorts of problems in the defence. Ian Cox just strokes the ball away. And Burnley, Terry, they are looking very suspect in defence, the Clarets.
Well, they are, because Steve Davis was missing, David, because he was on his way back from a foray up front. And really, how they missed that with the chance they had. I thought it was offside, the second player who furthest away from us and the camera angle, and he touched it, and I thought it was offside. But Burnley disorganised, and no wonder the crowd are frustrated there. Amazing, really.
Yeah, it's very windy here at Turf Moor. Burnley trailed by a goal to nil. They could have had a few more goals in that onion bag of Nikolaos. Looking at the situation with Hodges, he could have had a second, as Ipoua and him lined up to score. But eventually it was Nikolaos who saved the day for the Clarets once again. Paul Weller on that right-hand side. 2 green shirts around him. Paul Weller on the byline, brought down, free kick. Referee Mr. Frankland has no option but to give that one right on the line. He was brought down, trying to beat him in a tight situation.
Yeah, the referee, when he booked Guy Ipoua earlier on, I thought perhaps he's a bit of a stickler, Mr. Frankland. And you can see actually somebody going before the end of the game. Good cup tie, though, even though it's not going all Burnley's way.
Smith with the cross, again out by Scunthorpe. Smith has it once again, he moves inside. It's headed on into the area. But again, there's no Claret on the end of it. The back header was Lárusson, and here's Paul Cook for the Clarets. Paul Cook turns with his gloves on. Square ball in for Micky Mellon, man on him straight away. Ian Moore lays it back here for Paul Cook. It's not a good ball from Paul Cook, a lazy sort of a cross from the experienced midfielder. And once again, Lárusson comes away with it. Oh, slip, a mistake there from Nathan Stanton. And a throw into the Clarets on the far side. Ian Moore holding the ball up on that far side by the Bob Lord stand. Burnley have a throw-in. Mitchell Thomas steps up to take it, wants to take it quickly, but it's a good one. Paul Weller's in there. The ball cleared to a green shirt once again. Lárusson has it, dispossessed by John Mullin. Clarets have another throw-in. Mitchell Thomas takes it quickly. Paul Weller Thomas again. Cross is beaten down. Another throw-in. 3 in a row for the Clarets as Burnley hurrying into this first half situation of Burnley 0, Scunthorpe United 1. Thomas plays it in, looking for more. Moore chests it down, but a green shirt's there once again to put the ball out. Clarets have yet another throw-in.
The magic of the cup again, David. It's amazing, isn't it? Third round day. Last year we were at Derby, I think, as definitely the underdogs, and we won the 1-0. And there's Scunthorpe, 8th in Division 3 at the moment, and embarrassing the Clarets just for the time being. And let's hope it's just a short while yet.
Down the here again, green shirts, but this one will it be cut out? Well, they actually caught him running through Harsley. That was Paul Smith. Mr. Frankland says calm it down. It's just a free kick. There's nothing malicious. Mr. run past him and just clipped his heel as they tried to mount yet another attack here. Mark Jackson plays it forward. Doing quite well. They're doing well in attack. Guy Ipoua now, but a little touch was too long. Nikolaos collects. He kicks way past the halfway line, and it was aiming for Graham Branch, but this is Paul Cook, left-hand side for the Clarets. Paul Cook just chips it in. Ian Moore lays it off. John Mullin's shot. It was going like a banana wide of the far post, but an effort from John Mullin just outside the penalty area, Terry.
Good use of the chest by Moore there, wasn't it? Good link play there, into his chest, knocks it back, and John Mullin went for glory. Good opening, actually, and unfortunately outside of the boot, and it's curled away. But that shows the intent, and that's the sort of stuff. Got to work it round the edge of the box, create the openings, create the chances. Surely as night follows day, the goals follow.
So you're right, Terry, is Burnley trying to launch another attack here inside right channel. Ian Moore and just leaves it here for Paul Weller. Paul Weller just plays it down the line here. John Mullin is good. It's out to a bit of a corner tight situation. Thomas has to try and retrieve it, but the green shirts of Scunthorpe pick it up once again. Long ball for Ipoua to chase as Ian Cox just loose it over the head of Guy Ipoua, and a throw into Scunthorpe way down that far side. One-on-one it was there with Ipoua and Cox, and Ipoua is again on this left wing now. He gets a lucky rebound, gains possession once again, never really lost it. Nice ball in again. Lárusson, Harsley on this near side for Scunthorpe United. Good play from Dawson. Left foot shot coming in for that one. Oh, and a miss hit from Guy Ipoua, and the Burnley defence trying to get the ball away from him, and the referee eventually blows up as a scum appears in the Burnley penalty area, and someone still has the ball at the feet. It's going to be a bounce up in a very delicate situation. And dangerous as delicate as whatever you want to call it. The Scunthorpe fans, there's nobody here marking Harsley on the right-hand side. It's going to go to him, but it went to the back of him. And Scunthorpe always look likely to cause problems. The power. Mellon gives it back here for Cox. Cox clears it past the halfway line, but green shirts are here again. Down the line, it's out. Clarets have a throw-in. With coming up to 20 minutes in the first half, the scoreline rather strange again. Burnley 0, Scunthorpe 1.
And I've just heard you say, David, there that with 20 minutes gone, and Graham Branch has hardly had a kick, and as I speak, it's just like
Mellon! Just wide from Micky Mellon outside the area, and you're going to talk about deja vu, Terry. If that had gone in, would have been on for Glenn Little coming on and scoring the winner.
It would. And I was just saying there, after 20 minutes, Branch has hardly been in the game. He's hardly got any service, and he started that with a little flick header, which he wins rather a lot of. Got the ball inside, and Micky Mellon there opened up for him and dragged it wide. That would have been deja vu, and that's the last time we're going to say it, because we're tempting fate.
No more phrases then, as Evans kicks it for Scunthorpe United. Paul Smith under control, lamps it forward for Ian Moore, but Evans is out again. Edge of the area just to catch that one. The Scunthorpe keeper in his all yellow top as he kicks high in the sky. This one for Thomas. He pumps it high right up to the halfway line, centre circle. Ian Moore gets the header down. Paul Weller picks it up. Paul Weller, the inside right channel, moving very dangerously. And here's Branch. Branch has got to make a good cross, but it wasn't a good cross. It went out, it went hard, and it was out of play. Goal kick to Scunthorpe, and Well, I hope it's not going to be a frustrating afternoon. FA Cup round 3, Burnley trail by a goal to nil here, and Lee Hodges the scorer. Burnley back in league action on Saturday down at the Priestfield Stadium. Never an easy hunting ground. Gillingham are the opponents. They came up through the playoffs last campaign. But here we've got a little matter of the FA Cup. Smith down the left-hand side, Ian Moore chasing it. Mark Jackson puts the ball into touch, gives the Clarets a throw-in. Paul Smith going to take this one. He's played well since he come back into the reckoning under Stanton. And Paul Smith right down the line here again for Paul Smith. Smith into the centre. Graham Branch. Branch turns. Opportunity now again wide here for Paul Cook. Got to make it a good cross this time, Paul Cook, but decides to use Micky Mellon. Mellon inside for Branch. Branch edge of the area now. Two men around Graham Branch. Gets the throw in, trying to get it back to Paul Cook. Clarets have a similar throw in a similar position. Bertie Bay there hovering about, 1882. And there's Smith. Smith gets a return from Paul Cook. Smith's left foot cross back to the back post. Weller gets up well over the head of Moore, but then Mellon can't get it down. Here they come again. Green shirts, lime green and navy blue. But Paul Cook intercepts. It's going to run away. Gives a cheer from the Scunthorpe fans in that cricket field stand. Good following for the second division outfit. And you know, 1800 we think. Surmising Terry's just had a quick count up on his calculator, and they have a throw in. That was a foul throw, surely. Never mind, it's still in play. The space is always good on the right hand side for Scunthorpe. Guy Ipoua again, big man, a lot of skill. So is Mitchell Thomas, a big man, and he's got a good tackling ability as well, and Thomas eventually does well. But it's another throw in to Scunthorpe United here at Turf Moor. 23.5 minutes gone here. Scunthorpe still in the driving seat. The shot comes in. Michopoulos on his line to collect that one. No problem for the Greek goalkeeper as he blasts that one into the afternoon air, as Graham Branch gets a good header forward, and Moore was trying to latch onto that one, throw into the Clarets on that far side. So plenty of action here in the early stages. Always, cup matches always bring out the best in, well, let's say the underdogs. Moore, Weller, cross from Weller, wasn't a good one. Hit the full-back Andrew Dawson, but Weller's still in possession on that far side. He does well, beats his man well. Weller drags it across, and just put out by...
Corner to the Clarets.
Corner comes in, Smith's there, but so the Scunthorpe defence. This is Ian Cox, edge of the area, left-hand side. He's going to try and take him on again. Again, he gets the corner, Ian Cox. Wandering defender joining the Burnley attack. This is the Clarets' 8th corner in this first half. Paul Cook with the cross, goal! No! Oh, I thought that was going to be in. That was Ian Cox. Oh, well, from 4 yards. My word.
Last week it was Ian Moore from 6 yards, and this week it was Mitchell Thomas, of all people, one of the safest heads in the game, and he managed to, was it Cox? And Cox managed to put it over. No wonder he held his head there, because he knows that that was a glorious chance. The 8th corner did it, perhaps 16th, and we'll get one.
Well, let's double it up. That was Ian Cox with an opportunity to pull the Clarets back level as Evans kicks for Scunthorpe, the goalkeeper for the visitors, and a free kick to the Clarets, but he wants it taken nearer the incident, says Mr. Frankland, and Mitchell Thomas just lays the ball down. Steve Davis to take this free kick then. Branch, flick on from Branch, but again it's running through to Evans, and no connection after that one from the flick on from Graham Branch. Evans looks around, he dispatches, he'll be happy with the side's performance so far. Brian Laws, of course, the Scunthorpe manager, former Claret here, big favourite at Turf Moor in his playing days in the 80s. Now then, Paul Weller. Micky Mellon. Mitchell Thomas on that right-hand side, plays it in. Eventually comes to the head of Weller, but the green shirts are here again. Steve Davis gets a foot in. Paul Smith in possession for the Clarets, moves inside. He was looking for Paul Weller, but Paul Weller wasn't wide. He was in an inside position at that moment as the ball was dispatched. It's a throw-in to Scunthorpe United here, and Burnley have got to keep the pressure coming right throughout the game.
If I was the assistant on this side, David, I'd just be watching Steve Torpey, the number 10, because every time he jumps, he goes with his arm up, his elbow out, and across the forward. You just watch it, and that's a good flick header.
Mullin's first touch to get round the defender was too long. Evans found the ball in his grasp on his 6-yard line, and that's another attack for Burnley down the pan as Evans kicks again. The ball held back slightly with the wind as Paul Smith here, left back for the Clarets, shields the ball away, and it's Harsley, the number 2, and Mullin did well, did John Mullin. He's now looking for a change of direction, finds it on that right-hand side with Michopoulos. Thomas with the left foot forward, looking again for Branch. Branch doesn't get the head on this time, but a chance for Branch, and the linesman is flagging on that far side. A foul on Graham Branch, free kick to the Clarets, well spotted by the assistant.
And last week the referee, David, would have given advantage there. Let's see how the play developed, and then called it back. Cookie with the ball, Smith's going to deliver with left foot yet again. Could he do what Wolves did last week and score from there?
Well, that's the same position, isn't it, Terry? Let's hope for that one. It's Paul Smith with that trusty left foot, hammers it, hits the defender on the way. Falls here to Mellon on this near side. The referee's blown up for offside, and a free kick then to Scunthorpe United. Frustrating at the moment as we fast approach the half-hour mark here at Turf Moor. Bring in ex-Claret Ray Turnant here. It's not good, is it, Ray? But Burnley are forcing the pressure on the visitors now.
Yeah, to be fair, they've had the last sort of 20-25 minutes. It's been all one-way traffic, but they've got to be careful not to concede a second one. But to be fair, the chance that they've just missed with Ian Cox here was unbelievable. You can see them getting back in this game though, and at least they're going forward in numbers, Nat, and I think they'll get one soon.
Thank you, Ray. Smith with the cross then. Throw into the Clarets. Corner. View partially blocked there, but a corner to the Clarets. It was Ian Moore's cross on that right-hand side, not Paul Smith. And it's going to be a corner on this near side. It's outside the D, but I don't think the referee spotted it. Mellon with it, back post. Oops, Davis was up. Claim for handball, obviously not given. Paul Cook just hammered that one with a trusty left foot. Paul Weller's trying to get possession, but Scunthorpe have it with Hodges on that far side. He's a tricky little player, this man, as Davis to the rescue for the Clarets.
Good player, Lee Hodges, David. We saw him last year at Scunthorpe when we managed to gain promotion, and I think he was voted their Spectators Player of the Season last year, and you can see why, because I've seen him just a couple of times, and on both occasions he's got through a load of work, and he does it with some degree of skill as well. That's Lee Hodges, number 6.
Yeah, we'll keep his eye on him. He's already scored one for Scunthorpe as Burnley moving forward. Number 8, actually, Guy Ipoua on that left-hand side, using his power. But Ian Cox gets the better of him, plays it down the line, looking for Weller. It eludes Weller, and Scunthorpe have it now on this right-hand side. Will it stop in? It will for Harsley, but John Mullin takes it away from him. Paul Smith to Paul Cook. That's going to go out. No, it's not. Ian Moore's going to chase it all the way. Under pressure, number 18, Russ Wilcox, had no option but to put the ball out there for Scunthorpe. Umpteen throw-ins and corners for the Clarets in this first half. Ian Moore, nice dummy, twist one way then the other one, finds Paul Smith, left-hand side, cross comes in from Smith, back post, Graham Branch, he just gonna back flick it, but Weller's chasing it, it's gone out. According to the assistant, it got out, but I thought Paul Weller had kept it in, but from our vantage point, we can't see that close. But some good play from Scunthorpe there to get the ball, to play the ball out of danger. And a foul by Steve Davis. Free kick once again to the visitors. Guy Ipoua want it taken quickly. Mr. Frankland says, I'll have it taken where the incident took place. And that means a little bit of stoppage time then onto the referee's watch. Down the line here, Mitchell Thomas now in possession for Burnley on the touchline. His claims for it going out, the linesman said it wasn't out, and John Mullin brings it down well. Paul Cook squares it up here for Paul Smith, left-hand side for the Clarets, but it wasn't a good ball from Paul Smith. Evans in, Graham Branch chases in vain, and Evans collects and just calmly rolls it out here. Guy Ipoua. Ian Cox got the foot in. Paul Smith has possession. Nice neat play from Paul Smith to Paul Cook. Paul Cook gives it away. There's Jackson here for Scunthorpe. Harsley, Jackson again for Scunthorpe United. And the ball loose in the air, outside the area. And Thomas has to give it back for Nikolaos, who has to chase that to the byline with his feet. And looking on is Guy Ipoua, the number 9 for Scunthorpe United. Long kick again. Branch gets the header. Good header from Graham Branch. John Mullin running onto this one. And Mullin has the ball at his feet now, right to the touchline. Mullin, but he's being watched all the way by Stanton. Dispossessed in the end, John Mullin. And Paul Cook was in the way, but it went right back to the lime green shirts of Scunthorpe. And here they are again. Hodges. Hodges moves so quickly. Brought down Hodges by Paul Cook, right outside the Burnley penalty area in a central position. That is a dangerous free kick to give away.
Just a bit fortunate, Cookie, there. I've seen referees book him for that, but just confirming what we thought about Lee Hodges and what we know and what we've seen over the couple of games. He started the ball with a lovely layoff in midfield, advanced, attacked the space there, looking for the challenge coming in, looking for the room to get the pass in, and look at the ground of his game for them. And he's won the free kick in a very dangerous position. We need to keep this out.
It is going to be a dangerous one. This one then, just outside the penalty area. Is it going to be Andrew Dawson, the number 3? This the other 2 men around the ball. The Burnley wall has appeared. Oh, it's hit hard. It's hit by Dawson. In fact, number 3 had hit it. Lárusson plays it forward. Long ball for Hodges to chase. So too is Ian Cox of Burnley. Cox gives it, puts it out, and Scunthorpe have a throw in then adjacent the Burnley penalty area on the left-hand side for the visitors. 34 minutes gone in the first half. Burnley 0, Scunthorpe United 1 here at Turf Moor. That looks a bit wayward, but it's kept in play. The cross comes in. It's eluded everybody, but Harsley's here, the right back. And the shot and the save, or the shot came in from number 6, Lárusson. And he had it covered, did Nikolaos. He kicks, a wind-assisted one, I think. Graham Branch gets the header. Laid down here for Mullin. Mullin picks it up, does well. Dummy from John Mullin, as Mullin has support coming up with Paul Smith, who peels down the left-hand side. Paul Smith cross. Oh, and it went to Jackson, who put the ball out for yet another corner to the Clarets.
And that's a handful, David. I'm just going to say we're going to have a quick one there, but Micky Mellon decides to kick long, and this is the 10th corner. Great leveler is the cup, David. 8th in the 3rd division, Scunthorpe.
Here we go, Mellon, punched off the line by the keeper. Chance here for Cook. Paul Cook shoots wide, just inside the 18-yard box. Really could have gone anywhere, but it didn't go into the back of the net, unfortunately for the former Wolves midfielder. It's a goal kick to Scunthorpe.
And what I think there, David, as the ball came out to Paul Cook there, that he was more intent on keeping it down, really, that he was afraid of it ballooning up into the top tier of the Jimmy McIlroy stand, and I think that just took just that edge off the shot. But it was a powerful shot and a ricochet, as you quite rightly said there. Ball could have gone anywhere.
Here's Paul Smith then. Paul Weller on the right-hand side, bombing down that far side. Cuts inside, just eluded Ian Moore. He was off balance as he tried to accept that pass from Weller. Steve Davis having a rare old battle there, and it goes against Steve Davis. 6 to 1 and half a dozen other than a quickly taken free kick. Mr. Frankland doesn't want to accept the quick ones, and quite rightly so. Burnley hadn't got their defence together for that dead ball situation, and the Scunthorpe fans get up from their seats in the cricket field stand. But quite right, Mr. Frankland. You know, you've got to take it from where the incident was, and it's too quick. It was too quick, that free kick, and now it will be taken in the proper manner here as Scunthorpe in possession. Jackson plays it forward, and the ball, free kick. Tit for tat there as free kick then. Nikolaos will take it outside his 18-yard area. Coming up to 37 minutes. Guy Ipoua looks on, tries to impede his kick. And Paul Weller on the right-hand side. Paul Weller again at pace. Weller does extremely well. It's a corner. No goal kick.
You'll get one right.
I'll get one right, yeah. I'm going to get carried away here. I wish it was a corner, obviously.
It's one of those games, David, where you think if Burnley get one, then they could keep the pressure up and then, you know, carry it forward and get more. It's just one of those games. But there again, there's always an ifs, ands and buts in football. They get the second one, and it's goodbye, fourth round. This is dangerous.
Have a chance here. John Mullin. Oh, and a great save from Evans. Mullin outside the area. A right foot strike. Spectacular goalkeeping. Just when we thought that they may equalise.
We saw a great exhibition of goalkeeping the other year with Perez on loan in the Scunthorpe goal, and that was a magnificent save there, and he knew it.
Paul Cook's corner, looking for Davis, but again cleared, half cleared to Paul Weller. That's a bit strong. Ian Cox to chase that one. It's going to run away, and that's a throw in to our visitors here. Scunthorpe United on their right-hand side, deep in their own half. They've got to pen them in here, and Burnley just trying to do that now. There seems to be a massive lime green and royal blue shirts as Scunthorpe try to hold on to their lead. Burnley pressing forward all this first half. John Mullin can't get around his marker, and that's out for another throw-in right down by the corner flag. That ball hasn't moved for the last couple of minutes or so. John Mullin leaves it here for Paul Smith. Paul Smith perhaps going to launch it in. No, a short one to Mullin. Back for Smith. Smith right foot cross this time. Look, it's looking for Weller, but Weller doesn't get there. And Weller's frustrated with a smack on the back of the Scunthorpe player there. Hodges in possession now in his own half. Now the opportunity for Calvo Garcia. The ball played for Guy Ipoua on the left-hand side. It's out. And that is, can definitely say, a goal kick. Nikolaos will take it for Burnley. And behind him, of course, the travelling supporters from Glanford Park, and a goal kick will now be taken by Nick. Oh, it's a strange one. Davies flicks it on. Now then, Ian Moore inside left channel for the Clarets. Can he keep his feet? Ian Moore cuts inside. Oops. Right through the legs of Micky Mellon. Here's Paul Weller, the wide man for the Clarets, who can cause the problems. Mellon shot over the top, outside the area, and Mellon's had a couple of pops on goal. Hasn't had any luck at the moment, but it's still Scunthorpe United who have that 1-0 lead here at Turf Moor.
If you keep getting to the byline, David, and creating pressure and pulling about and balls dropping free to Burnley players at the edge of the 18-yard box, you can see one of them flying in. The keeper won't save another one like that, I dare say, all day, because the save that he did previously, wonderful save.
Certainly was. And Paul Weller, he's having a good game on that wide, on that right-hand side. He's involved, he's producing the crosses. But that was same to be said at Barnsley on Boxing Day, when Burnley created numerous chances from the wing, but just could not bring up the finished product. It's Thomas on that far side, and he powers the ball onto the Bob Lord stand roof, and that's going to run for a while on the roof before it comes back. We'll probably have to get another ball. We have another ball here. The fans like to watch this drop. Hopefully it can drop on somebody's head, as they say. And it's down. Oof. Near it, but not quite. Throw into the Clarets then, far side. Another one up the line. Up the line we go then. Mitchell Thomas will take another one identical, some 8 yards further up the far side touchline. Very windy afternoon. At least it's dry here for this FA Cup round 3, the Axia FA Cup. Graham Branch trying to fight off the defenders. There's Paul Weller in the centre now. Paul Weller looks onto the left-hand side, finds Paul Smith. Paul Smith just stabs it forward for John Mullin. He's got an option in going back to Smith as Mullin, but a cross comes in. It's the goalkeepers. Is it? And the goalkeeper fails to get there on the second attempt. He manages to get the ball as Evans and quickly, hurriedly kicks the ball downfield. Cox with the header, but it only falls again to Scunthorpe United. A tug on the old shirt, advantage played. Lárusson was the man tugged by Micky Mellon, and Hodges it is. Twists and turns, he's off again. Great gravity from the little man as he looks for options again on the right-hand side. Here's Guy Ipoua now. Watched closely by Ian Cox. Guy Ipoua not got the best of Cox on that occasion. Down he goes. It's a goal kick. And we are approaching half-time here at the Turf. Burnley trail by 1-0 in this FA Cup third round. We've got 42 minutes on the clock of normal time as Nikolaos kicks it up to the halfway line. In again, Cox goes in. Steve Davis to the ball at his feet here, and Davis looks for that right-hand side once again. Moor doesn't get the header, but can Branch steal in here? Branch get the ball, they put it out. There's panic stations as Burnley come forward again, throwing on the far side. Weller with that throw-in. Thomas gives it in back. Thomas again to Weller. Weller making a good cross. Cross comes into the back post, but there's more green shirts than clarets on that cross from Weller as Mellon's in. He didn't really know where the ball was. Lárusson did. And this man here on this right-hand side, Harsley, the number 2 to run at this Burnley, Paul Cook. Harsley again as Paul Smith comes in to join the defence. Harsley to Guy Ipoua. Down he goes, nothing given. As Burnley come away with the ball quite casually here with Paul Cook in for Graham Branch. Branch it down, handball against Graham Branch surprisingly, and the referee awards Scunthorpe a free kick.
Even though the score's the wrong way, David, I've thoroughly enjoyed this. It's been Clarets were at a good 20 minutes possession where it was all them creating the chances, but you've got to say that Scunthorpe, you know, they give as good as they got. They've had a few long-range shots, they've worked it round, they've worked back well, and I've got to say that Moor's in the box here, and it's another corner. Good first off, and that must be Baker's dozen or something like that.
12th corner to the Clarets, none to Scunthorpe, 12 corners to Burnley, and we still wait for this leveller. On that far side, going to be Paul Smith. He's got to get it in before half-time. We're fast approaching that whistle, and the goalkeeper Evans punches. This time it's Mullin for the Clarets. Paul Cook leaves it for him. Paul Cook crosses in, and that's going to be the goal. A goal! That is a goal! Paul Cook's cross, Ian Moore got the goal, and the miss really from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I'd say that's a goalkeeping error, David, because it was deep in the 6-yard box and he just headed it more or less as he was going to catch it, and it was a superb cross with men in the box, picked him out there, make no mistake, one apiece just before half-time, just what the doctor ordered.
But a magic time to score a goal right on the stroke of half-time. £1 million man Ian Moore puts the Clarets level, and it was a good cross on that left-hand side as well from Paul Cook. So there you go, a bit of stoppage time now. Could Clarets go in? 2 minutes stoppage time. Time for another one for Burnley. Let's be optimistic here. No reason why not. The floodgates shouldn't open now. It's more on that far side. Cross comes in from him, and again a ball headed away by Lárusson. Again they head it out, but again Burnley come forward here. That ball to run out for a Clarets throw-in. Paul Smith just going to take this one for Burnley.
You know, it's a cruel game, David. The keeper there has a great save, doesn't he, Evans, before from a distance strike. Pulls it out of there and he waits for that one to come in. Paul Smith having a dribble into the box, knowing it falls to Hodges, I believe. And then Burnley concede, score the goal with the goalkeeper nowhere. As I said, a great leveller.
It is a great level. That ball's out. Clarets have a throw-in, and probably another minute left of that stoppage time added on by the fourth official here at Turf Moor. The floodlights fully on now as Mullin on that far side. Out of play. Scunthorpe throw once again. Oh, that was a strange ball. Lets in Scunthorpe with Harsley. Challenge was late by Paul Cook, and the shot was over the top by Lárusson, and Harsley's got a nasty knock from a late challenge from Paul Cook, Terry.
Yeah, he gave a strange ball away, David, didn't he? And he was trying to make up for it to win the tackle, and the lad looks injured. But let's not forget that the end result of their attack was a screamer that just edged over the crossbar, and the lad is still down, and they're all round, and they're looking a bit concerned. And I think the referee might have a bit more than strong words here, but really, the Scunthorpe fans, the Irons there, and they're shouting off, but surely not really. But you could see what he'd done. It was over-enthusiastic, trying to make up for the bad pass, and the end result is the Scunthorpe lad lying prone on the deck just before half-time. And I don't know if you've managed to see his number, David. I can't. It's the fullback, is it? Number 2, Paul Harsley. He's had a good half, actually, as Harsley. He's got round Paul Smith. That's good. He's up on his feet. I like to see that. He'll just come off. He's half time to get over it. Let's hope it's not a bad injury to the lad. And he's gone straight back on. About a minute to go, David. Michopoulos to take the kick.
Cheers, Terry, as Michopoulos does that past the halfway line. Graham Branch, free kick given against the Clarets again, as quickly taken. Jackson does that. Dawson gives it back here again, as they're just going to stroke this ball around right up to the break. Harsley with the kick. Paul Cook skies it, doesn't really go anywhere, holds up in the wind. John Mullin trying to get under this one. Does do, holds it off well. Paul Cook stabs it forward. Looking, and there's the half-time whistle. Great fight back by the Clarets. A lot of pressure from Burnley. A shot lead from Lee Hodges after 2 minutes. More opportunity for Hodges as well. And then we saw numerous attacks, 12 corners from the Clarets, and eventually Ian Moore got the goal that mattered. Great ball from the left-hand side. Paul Cook, goalkeeper mistake, doesn't matter. Ian Moore's got the equaliser. Half-time at the Turf. Burnley 1, Scunthorpe United 1. So a very healthy reception for the match officials here at Turf Moor from the Scunthorpe following. It's Burnley to kick this second half off. One apiece, we don't want any replays. Let's go out and win this one and get into the 4th round draw. No changes in personnel as far as we can see, as Burnley ready to kick this second half off here at Turf Moor. Live commentary on the FA Cup round 3. It's the Clarets versus Scunthorpe. Here we go. Straight away we have a throw-in for our visitors here. Their change strip of lime green and royal blue. Quickly in was Michopoulos. Ian Moore, scorer of the Burnley goal, just on the stroke of half-time. Laid up by Torpey. Torpey in possession again on this near side. Plays it into Ipoua. Good flick on from Hodges, and Ipoua into the area, and a great challenge from Paul Smith. The first corner, in fact, of the game to Scunthorpe United. It's come in the second half, and it's on their left-hand side. It's going to be Dawson to take.
Good omen that, David, for Scunthorpe there. There was a nice little flick on which put Guy Ipoua into the box, and covering tackle there from the 2 Burnley defenders. This is the first corner which comes in now.
Oh, it's gone in, and Guy Ipoua has scored it from that Dawson corner on the left-hand side. Further shots here at Turf Moor as Burnley caught napping again, and they're 2-1 down here.
And the first corner of the game, we had a panful in the first half, and that's the first corner of the match to Scunthorpe. The cross came over. There was an awful amount of Burnley defenders there, but Ipoua was the man who got his head to it. It didn't go into the goals with any pace whatsoever, and it's 2-1 to Scunthorpe.
Well, here we go. Cup ties are like this, but Burnley are in the middle of some poor defending at the moment. The last 6 games never looked like a win, really, as a throw-in here to Scunthorpe United. Paul Weller can't get the touch. Steve Davis back to Michopoulos, the Burnley goalkeeper. Kicks first time.
That's amazing, is that, David, because it's a goal in the 2nd minute of the first half and a goal for Scunthorpe again in the 2nd minute of the second half, and we've got it all to do. I can see that if it carries on like this for the next 10 or 15 minutes, then there will be a change of personnel within the Burnley ranks, because Stan will say, free kick comes in, beaten away, Cook with the ball, plays it through to Steve Davis, who stayed up there, turns inside, just wants a little... Cross comes in, but safely gathered by the keeper. But you can imagine Stan thinking, right, 10 or 15 minutes of this, and Andy Payton stretches legs, perhaps Glenn Little, somebody in midfield. You can see all 3 substitutes coming on if Scunthorpe maintain this lead any much further than halfway in the second half. Throwing on the far side.
Well, there it is. It's not good news. Burnley have it all to do again. That level scoreline only lasted the interval, as the Clarets have a throw-in on the far side. Paul Smith will take this one just inside the Scunthorpe half. Burnley's left-hand side. Flick on from Graham Branch. Moore trying to get in there. Graham Branch again on the left-hand side for the Clarets. In support is Paul Smith. Smith cracks it in. Oh, a good cross from Paul Smith. But again, it was Stanton in the way, and Hodges here for Scunthorpe United. Here's Dawson. Guy Ipoua, bad control, but Lee Hodges manages to get hold of it again, and he just walks past the Burnley defenders, but walked into trouble on that occasion because Michopoulos was there. Paul Cook plays it long. Graham Branch, hands round Graham Branch, but the referee or assistant not spotting that one. Thomas Evans kicks first time as Thomas heads forward for the Clarets. Stanton there, Mullin's in. There's Ian Moore on the floor. Paul Cook heads forward. Mullin gets a flick onto Moore here. Now then, here's Paul Weller, right-hand side for the Clarets. Paul Weller's trigger can cause the problems. The cross comes in, but again, cleared out by Jackson. And Ian Cox here with Guy Ipoua gets possession for the visitors. Tricky man he is, really is. Oh, he's thought he'd done well there, but Michopoulos got the better of him in that occasion. Michopoulos with the ball here. Graham Branch just holds the ball off. Graham Branch still in possession for Burnley. Into the centre now, left-hand side here. Paul Smith, left back for the Clarets. Smith running at this Scunthorpe defence. Smith runs into trouble. Scunthorpe come away with it rather easily, I'm afraid. And the ball cleared long for the number 4, Stanton. Paul Cook in possession. Tap squared to Steve Davis. Davis powers it forward, but again Stanton heads away for Scunthorpe. Back with Paul Cook. Right-hand side, he plays it to Paul Weller. Paul Weller with a bit of room here, and Paul Weller does to the byline. Can he pull it back? He does pull it back, but not really far enough, as Hodges here for Scunthorpe United. He switches play to that far side. Harsley it is, the right back, who himself had a good game for the visitors. Guy Ipoua, Steve Davis a handful with him, and Harsley on the right-hand side, but Davis is there for the Clarets. Plays the ball down the left-hand side. The ball was still in play, but it is out now.
Paul Weller's done substitutions, David, and there's a couple of them. I can't see it. Glenn Little's been brought on. Micky Mellon is off. That's the first one. And I was going to say that Paul Weller, great approach. Branchet looks like he's the second substitution. He is. Andy Payton and Glenn Little, just as we mentioned a few minutes ago. But Paul Weller's done particularly well down this side, but it's just a pity that his final ball has just let him down a little. Andy Payton's first touch perhaps there. He'll be hungry for this. He'll want to get into the thick of it. And that's on over, David. More. Kouke offside, Andy Payton far side.
Yeah, Andy Payton on, and Glenn Little then. Big question, of course, is Glenn fully fit? That's it's been a long hamstring injury. He came on against Barnsley on Boxing Day, couldn't put a foot right, he couldn't get into the game, and his hamstring pulled him up again. So he was left to sort of get fit again. He's on today. He's on the right-hand side. Paul Weller's moved into a central midfield position, and now it's a free kick to Scunthorpe United. Thomas Evans to take it outside his area. Kicks right-footed towards that Jimmy McIlroy stand. Ian Cox gets the header in. Harsley's there. Harsley to take the return there, but Paul Smith's in the way. Burnley pick it up here with Paul Cook. Paul Cook looking for the first touch to the big boy Glenn Little here. Big favourite at Turf Moor. Can he turn it on this afternoon? Glenn Little going to try and run at these two defenders. Lays it off here for Thomas. Thomas gives him the return, the right-hand side, but Stanton's there. The ball runs away. It's a goal kick to Scunthorpe United, and well, Glenn at least has got a full half to get himself into this game.
Yeah, and give him the ball early, David, and get him warm, and they know all about Glenn from what happened where he terrorised them really for the 20 minutes that he was on over at Scunthorpe earlier on. I think it was in May this year, and there again there were players coming rushing back to support the defender who he was trying to take on. All to do again, it's just a repeat of the first half, isn't it? Only if we'll have as many corners without scoring, because it's quite ironical, the first corner that they get this score from. Strange game football.
No true words spoken. Clarets have a throw-in on that far side, midway inside the Scunthorpe half. Paul Smith lays it down. John Mullin on that far side. Can he get the ball across? He was tripped as he went for that one. A free kick given by Mr. Frankland, the referee. Well spotted there as the ball went hurrying away. There's a big man going up for the Clarets. There's Ian Cox there. There's Steve Davis. And Smith plays it in. And Cox with the header. Well picked up by Evans. Not a lot of force on it from Ian Cox. He had a chance in the first half, as you remember. It was a glorious miss from Ian Cox, but he'll want to make amends for that. This is Little. Right-hand side, Thomas gives Little a return. It just didn't run for Glenn Little, but the idea was there. This is Lee Hodges for Scunthorpe United, the man that's caused a few problems this afternoon in this FA Cup. But not on this occasion. Still has the ball. Dawson plays it long. Guy Ipoua here. Turns well. Still got Clarets around him. Paul Cook got a foot in. And Calvo Garcia there put the ball over to that right-hand side. Harsley chasing that one for Scunthorpe United. Watched by Paul Smith on that far side. Corner to Scunthorpe United. Second corner for them in the whole of the game so far. They lead here by 2-1. Lee Hodges and Guy Ipoua the scorers for the visitors. There's a lot of men forward for the visitors, and they're taking their time. They're going to get Dawson to come up to take it from their right-hand side. Man who took the corner from the left. Referees adding time on for this professionalism by Scunthorpe United. They want to hold on to their lead. Burnley want to get back into it very quickly as Dawson steps up to take this one. It goes off the head of Garcia, and it is a goal kick to the Clarets. Michopoulos to take it, and they've got to put the foot on the gas now as chasing this game for the second time. Oh, is that going to run to Guy Ipoua? Guy Ipoua to shoot, and he's shot wide. The referee's blown offside against him, and a free kick once again to the Clarets.
And Burnley in the second half, David, playing into an increasingly strong win, because Michopoulos' free goal kick there, you could see that it barely reached the D, and that. I look at the flag unfurled on the Bob Lord stand, and it really is out at right angles. Header, Glenn on the ball, David.
Glenn Little right-hand side, the look to beat Stanton. The cross comes in, it's high, it's out, and it's over on that far side. Goal kick to Scunthorpe United. I had to put an early ball in the wind. Got hold of it. As you can look, it's absolutely piddling down here at the moment. It's swirling round the turf. Not the best of conditions, but it is January, and it is the FA Cup. You can expect all sorts as Thomas Evans kicks for Scunthorpe United. Header from Weller. Down here for John Mullin. John Mullin moving pretty quickly here as he looks for opposition and finds it in Glenn. Support from the big man. Oops. Right into Dawson. Cross comes in from Thomas. Oh, and a header just wide there from John Mullin, just past the uprights and just wide of Thomas Evans' right-hand post.
Good work by John Mullin. Ball threaded out from Glenn. He gives it back to Mitchell Thomas. Good cross by Mitchell Thomas, and unfortunately John Mullin's header just glanced wide. And there's another injury to a Scunthorpe player. Again, David, very difficult to see the numbers.
Dawson, I think.
We think it's Dawson there, and he's having some treatment. I think it occurred that when he sort of stopped Glenn, or Glenn ran into him, whichever way you judge the incident. And he's having a look at him, and he's putting his fingers up as a trainer, just making sure that he can focus. He's not concussed. The referee's right on the spot. He gets up, does the player, and he'll take the proverbial walk off, will he? No. He's just pretending there he doesn't know what day it is, but you just watch the ball come to him, and he'll be into the thick of action again, will Dawson. Goal kick for Scunthorpe in front of the travelling supporters, and a goodly crowd in there. I would think about 1,800, certainly more than there were for the Wolves match, actually, which is a quite strange occurrence.
It certainly is, as Burnley have a throw-in on that far side. Smith with it, again trying to get it to Mullin. Payton's in there as well, but here's Guy Ipoua again. Back he goes. Torpey was the man trying to get that ball from that touchline. It's gone the way of Scunthorpe. Gone very quiet at the moment. Ian Cox just in the nick of time. He clears it, but it's not going too far because of that swirling wind. Davis heads it forward. Mullin, high one from Mullin, again held up in the wind. Moore doesn't get there. Harsley on that far side. Long one from Jackson, right long, right out, goal kick to the Clarets. Coming up to 14 minutes in the second half, Ray. Another double blow. We're chasing the game again.
Yep, and two disastrous pieces of defending there have cost us dearly here. Put us 2-1 then again. It's sort of like a minute into half time. Very similar situation to the first half. Ipoua claimed the goal, I think, but it was still disastrous defending from a corner from Burnley there. But I tell you what, it's merited a good cook tie, and they're chasing, like you say, they're chasing the game again. And if we can get Glenn Little into the game, well, he looks as though he's got a knock on the foot there, which isn't too good. But we certainly are chasing this game again.
Yeah, Glenn's got a knock there, and ankle is clutching at the moment, so we'll see what... that's no good. He's only just come on. Andy Payton here. Payton to Weller. Weller on this right-hand side. Cross comes in from Weller, but again, Payton just manages to hold it off. Can he get round those two players? No, he can't. The ball will be out here, just in the Burnley half, right-hand side. Mitchell Thomas chasing that one. He's taking a throw-in. Davis. Dawson for Scunthorpe. Heads it high. Weller goes up too early. Gets the ball on the top of his head. Ipoua plays it on for Harsley on that far side. He again plays it down the line for Ipoua, who's chasing that one with Ian Cox, and Ian Cox just places it out.
How unlucky is Glenn Little, David? He's definitely in some pain out here. He keeps holding that ankle, and you can't see him doing anything, but he'll have to receive some treatment. But he's gone down, he's asked for some treatment. The ball's still bouncing about at the edge of the Burnley box. Effectively, we're down to 10 men at the moment. Andy Payton in a chase, and it just held up for him. But Glenn looks like he definitely needs treatment, and the way he was, you'd wonder whether he was going to keep on. Scunthorpe come away with the ball.
The ball played in, it hits Ian Cox's legs. Paul Cook eventually puts the ball out. You can see his colleague Glenn Little on the floor, clutching that ankle, and the opportunity for the Burnley trainer to render some treatment to Glenn Little. He can't get fit. He's had a hamstring injury which has dogged him for many a week now. He tried to come back, as I said, against Barnsley, and here he is once again with another injury blow. But hopefully, if he can run this one off, as it were, and perhaps get going on this right-hand side. We also have Lenny Johnrose, who's doing a bit of warming up on the bench, yet possibly to come on. and he'll probably add a bit of a bite to the midfield if he's needed. And Glenn Little still having the treatment here. Well, really, it's been a shock again. It's 2-1 the trail, and hopefully they can get back into this game and end up winning it. But Glenn Little's going to have to come off. But he looks bad. It's going to come back on, but he doesn't look good. It's got to be said. And whether Stanton will risk him if he can't shake this injury off. Thumbs up, so he must be okay. As the throw-in back to Nick the Greek, the Burnley goalkeeper, as Glenn Little returns. He's feeling the ankle, but he's going to have to hopefully get into this game despite that knock on the ankle. Nick Michopoulos to take this goal kick for the Clarets in the windy, rain-swept Turf Moor, the FA Cup third round. Burnley 1, Scunthorpe 2. Ian Moore got the leveller on the stroke of half-time. It was Lee Hodges who got the first in the first 2 minutes of the first half. Guy Ipoua the first 2 minutes of the second half. And Burnley, as I say, chasing this game again. But they have a throw-in midway inside the visitors' half. Mitchell Thomas to take it. Up here for Glenn Little. Little gives Mitchell Thomas a return on the right-hand side. Now, Thomas ventured forward. Little takes the return here. And he can't get the ball across. It's a goal kick. And he makes sort of protests against the linesman, but won't do him any good.
No, and I think the linesman responded there to the call by the defender. He was first with the shout, and he won the benefit of the doubt, and Glenn remonstrated with him. It won't get him anywhere, but it is a shame. And Lenny Johnrose is going to come off now, and it's Paul Cook. So we can only assume from that Glenn thinks in his own mind that he's fit, because the option would have been for Cook to go off, or Glenn Little to go off, Paul Weller to go in support on this side, and Glenn Little off, Johnrose on, and Weller back up here. But Glenn Little obviously has given the sign that he's fit to carry on, and let's touch wood and hope that he is. Johnrose gets a push there off the referee sees, and Guy Ipoua wonders what he's done. But he is unlucky. I mean, how many ladders has he walked under in the last few months, Glenn, that he gets the hamstring, he comes back perhaps a bit early, he doesn't trust it, and he has another rest, and now the first couple of minutes on, and he gets the ankle banged. Oh dear, feels so sorry for him, and of course we need him. Andy Payton.
We need Glenn Little, but it's not going to happen at the moment. It's going to move over to that left-hand side. Coming up to 19.5 minutes in the second half then, as Little on the left wing now. Got round his marker, and a corner to the Clarets. First one of the second half, after that 12 of the first half that Burnley got. Let's see if we can get a goal here. Oh, Paul Smith there. Chips it in here. Little. Shot from him. Straight at the keeper, Thomas Evans at the near post. So Little trying a stab on goal there at the near post, but not coming off on that occasion. Mitchell Thomas alleged to have fouled Guy Ipoua in the middle there as he went for that ball. Referee Mr. Frankland awards Scunthorpe a free kick. Central position. It's with the dip. It's number 6. It's Lárusson who may just have a pop at this one, and it's a swirling wind. We'll see. Hopefully that it won't. What he's going to do is having a pop. Oh! Header off a Burnley defender, and that means a corner again to Scunthorpe United. Third one for them in the whole of the game, believe it or not. The third corner for our visitors.
Definitely worth the dip there, David, because it is a strong wind at the back of him, and it did get a ricochet, and he could see that Nick the Greek there was rooted to the spot because he set his stall for where the ball is going to come, and then suddenly it's gone aside of him. If it had been inside the post, you could see it going in. Corner to the irons.
So we don't press too hard as Dawson plays it in, but a chance here for Lárusson. Blocked by Johnrose. Hodges miskicked. He still has possession, Lee Hodges. Here's Dawson, gives it back to Hodges. Hodges, tricky man that he is. And the cross was at the back post. Thankfully Steve Davis was there, because also was there Steve Torpey. The ball's out. Scunthorpe have a throw-in adjacent the Burnley penalty area. Scunthorpe's right-hand side. They need to get the ball back into the Scunthorpe half, the Clarets, because the afternoon is ebbing away for Burnley. Long throw into the box, headed out by Paul Smith. John Mullin to latch onto this one. John Mullin has got pace, we know that. Squares it up here for Ian Moore. Ian Moore with Glenn Little screaming for a right-hand side. It's Little now. Can he produce a good ball in the cross? Offside, the linesman's flagging as Payton was steaming in, and the assistant gives the Claret man offside. A free kick to Scunthorpe. Frustration creeps into this game as it goes on into tea time.
If he was offside, David, and I can't tell there, that's his enthusiasm for the game, over anxious, wanted to get in there, wanted to get a run on the defender, and he's still having a word with the linesman, his Andy Payton, to say, I was definitely onside, mate. But the linesman had the last word. He's the one who adjudicates, and he gave in favour of Scunthorpe. Keeper takes the kick, long, Paul Weller wins it at the expense of a throw-in to Scunthorpe, just in front of us on the television gantry, and it's wild down there at the moment, David.
Must be really bad, but that's what they pay for. They're professional footballers. They play till the final whistle here as Glenn Little picks it up on the halfway line. Oh, squares it in the back of Lenny Johnrose, but Paul Smith comes in. Left-hand side, it's John Mullin for the Clarets. Mullin just chips it in here for Smith again for Burnley as a blue balloon floats across the field, and the ball comes straight back, and Scunthorpe find them in possession. Lee Harsley plays it forward. Guy Ipoua to latch onto that one, but Ian Cox will surely get there first for the Clarets, and lets that one. Has it gone out? Still runs on the line. It's kept in play. Here's Guy Ipoua now. Calvo Garcia plays across here to Hodges. Hodges twist turns. It's tricky. The ball, he couldn't get through all those Claret defenders, surely, but Burnley give it away again. It's really bad defending here, and the shot was over the top, but the confidence for Scunthorpe is oozing out, and the confidence for Burnley is definitely going out the window.
And we heard what Stan said last week, that no way to support the team is by booing, and here they come with a come on Burnley, and that's what's needed. Scunthorpe have been playing too much in our half in these last few minutes, David. It's time that we started playing. That's a ball over the top. John Mullin to stretch his legs. He'll win the race. Needs some support. With two in the box. Glenn's coming to the far post. Corner.
Dawson. And Dawson heads it out. A corner to the Claret. Glenn Little takes it up to take it on this right-hand side. Second corner for Burnley in the second half. About 14 corners in all, and that one's coming in again for Lenny Johnrose that time, but the ball skimmed past his head. Scunthorpe on a counter-attack. Lee Hodges brought down in his tracks, but still Scunthorpe managed to gain possession here. Guy Ipoua, left-hand side. Still he runs. Lays it in, and look at this. An opportunity here. Oh, the shooting is poor. That was Harsley, the fullback, and really should have done better, but the Burnley fans not happy at all with the Burnley defending. It must be said, it's going to be a goal kick with Nikolaos to take it in the cold January afternoon at Turf Moor, and the Burnley fans must get behind the side as this FA Cup rolls on towards tea time, with Burnley 1, Scunthorpe United 2, and Scunthorpe just enjoying the afternoon by the look of this. Here's Paul Weller. Paul Smith on the halfway line for the Claret, switching play to this right-hand side. He's looking for Glenn Little, but Dawson's there, and Hodges now for Scunthorpe. Little takes it away from Hodges. A shot, perhaps a turn from Little. Little still in possession, racing to that byline. Stanton to the rescue for them, but Clarets have a throw-in with that little effort on the right-hand side. He's really trying to get some fire back from this right-hand side to provide the ammunition for the Claret front men. And that one of those front men, of course, is the second half substitute with Glenn Little, Andy Payton. So we can have this flag's been knocked over, been flattened. That's what the referee, Mr. Frankland's pointing to his assistant for. Throw-in to be taken by Mitchell Thomas, right-hand side for the Clarets when we get the flag back in its position. 26 minutes gone in the second half. Thomas will eventually take this throw-in. He'll have to be short, I would think. It is to Little. Little turns, dispossessed by Dawson, and fouls Dawson. Free kick to Scunthorpe, Terry.
Yeah, that's fair enough, isn't it, David? I'm just looking where the inspiration is going to come from. You'd think Glenn, wouldn't you? One of the midfield players pushing on. And I'd love to see Andy Payton have a chance because he does look hungry. And he hasn't seen much of the ball yet. John Mullin's pushing out left and the keeper's way off target here. And you can imagine that this might be over the top for one of them to run onto because he's kicking with the strong wind at his back.
Well, it's Evans who kicks it. Davis gets the battle with Torpey, but Hodges tries it too fancy as Thomas clears it for Burnley. Here's Andy Payton. Hasn't seen much of the ball in this second half. As he had the service, that's what you make you wonder. Paul Smith plays it long, too long really, but here's a chance now for Burnley to pick it up with Moore trying a shot, which
really Glenn was in the best position of all there. He was hugging the touchline out here, and the defender was about 15 yards away, so had plenty of room to compose himself and have an attack and attack the defender. Throwing to Scunthorpe out there, and as David says, was something like halfway through the second half. Where's the goal coming from, you ask? David, you can answer that one. Where's the goal coming from?
Terry, I wish I knew. 28 minutes on the clock in the second half, then coming round to the half-hour mark, and it's Clarets with Mullin here, but he's dispossessed again, but Payton picks it up on the halfway line, lays it off for Weller. Weller's got Little to his right-hand side, he chooses Weller. He's got Thomas peeling away here. Oh, it wasn't a good ball, it wasn't a good ball. Hodges intercepted there as Scunthorpe have possession near side. Torpey looks, lays it off here. Lárusson gets the challenge in. Johnrose is there to clear the danger for the Burnley player. Header on from Payton, but again it's fallen wrongly. Jackson plays it down to Harsley on that far side for Scunthorpe United. Torpey on the right wing now for the visitors. Torpey still holding it back. Harsley plays it forward. Can we get the ball away from them? Get it in the visitors' half. We need to do that. Rather a rash challenge from Paul Weller, and that's another injury to Scunthorpe player. The referee just coming to have a look, waiting for the trainer to come on, presumably. Well, I can't see who it is, but he's got up again. Stan talking to Brian Laws, the Scunthorpe manager.
He was, and Ray was just exploding a minute ago with barely controlled anger because Glenn was out here wide. Free kick comes in. Steve Davis wins it. Paul Weller over a kick. Forced to a Scunthorpe player. I think it's the Scandinavian. Hodges with the ball here. There's a good engine on him, this lad. He's willing. He's a willing worker. Skilled. Find the player. Gives it away. As soon as you say something like that, gives a player. Lenny Johnrose to Glenn. Out to Paul Smith left. Hand over, David.
Yeah, it's Paul Smith in the Burnley half. Streaks past the halfway line. It's still Paul Smith going down that left-hand side. Can he produce something from this left-hand side? Little on that left now operating. Right foot cross comes in. John Mullin, can he head it on the Andy Payton? Can he turn? He can't really turn. He's got nobody in support there as Johnrose picks up that loose ball for the Clarets. Here's John Mullin now. Mullin with Dawson looking on. Foul by Dawson on John Mullin. Free kick to the Clarets. Let's see if Burnley can pull this one out of the fire now with this free kick on this right-hand side. All the pressure's coming from the home team as Little now. Can he get to the byline? Cross comes in. Now the opportunity header. Oh, and that was Ian Cox once again. And really right into the arms of Thomas Evans, the Scunny keeper.
And we've got to watch there, David, because Guy Ipoua, the big fast lad up front here, handball. Well done, Mitchell Thomas. It was basically a one-on-one, and he wanted a quick kick by the keeper to launch another Scunthorpe attack. Paul Weller with the ball. John Mullin out wide. A simple ball finds John Mullin. Willing worker is John Mullin. Inside. Can Smithy get it out wide on the left? He turns. Weller this time. Ushering, going into the box, attacking. Cross comes in. Poor one again.
There's that away by the number 11 again, Alex Calvo Garcia, and Burnley in possession, pushing the visitors back into their own half. But it was a sloppy ball in the end from Thomas as Lee Hodges launched it for Guy Ipoua. A little too long, and Nikolaos has to chase it back to the touchline. He gets possession now. What's going to happen in this game? FA Cup round 3. Burnley is staring a little defeat in the first round, the third round of the FA Cup. Long time since they entered at this stage. This 31, coming up to 32 minutes gone in the second half as Scunthorpe still power forward. and the shot was blocked in the end. I fear Lárusson was looking for that one. It got a deflection, a corner to Scunthorpe on the far right-hand side. This is their 4th corner of the whole of the game. They lead here by 2-1, and it's getting a little bit frightening. It's the time wasting. The referee will add time on, Mr. Frankland. We're expecting this one to come over from that right-hand side. Is it Dawson that's gone over? I think we better take this corner. Out in, yeah, that was definitely looked at the back of the goal, then flew back in. Free kick to the Clarets then, goal kick. And cries of "come on Burnley" for the Claret faithful here in the James Hargreaves stand. The singing coming from the men from Scunthorpe in that cricket field stand at the moment. That was a challenge by Stanton. That means that Hodges is in possession, left-hand side for Scunthorpe United as he races to the edge of the area. A cross comes in from him. That was a dangerous one. And it was Ian Cox in the way, thankfully. But really, you know, when we're going to see a goal from the Clarets, Terry?
I can't answer that, David, but that could have been a free goal there. But I do like Lee Hodges. He's a willing player, and he was the provider yet again. He's a good engine on him, skill, and he'd be my man of the match already. I can't see a goal coming from Burnley, David, somehow. They're just not creating anything at the moment. It's just a game of head tennis. The ball's coming out to them. John Mullin working ever so hard again. Go on, we need a crossing, but we've only Andy Payton in the box. And tries to flick it, and that's a good one that's just come to Lenny Johnrose. And he puts it wide, hits it with power, direction off. And we're into the last 15 minutes, I suppose, David. Stan's no more cards to play. All he can do is reshuffle the pack because every available Burnley player he's been on the pitch. The substitutes have been made, and Scunthorpe still has some options. Brian Lowe's has on the bench, but they look comfortable, David. And when they're attacking us at the moment, there seems to be more room in the Burnley half. Our midfield players and defenders, they've been pushing up. They're not tight, so they look like they can get another one.
That's right, as Scunthorpe take it up now. Lenny Johnrose there. Paul Smith plays it long into the centre. But again, it's high in the sky. Head tennis, as Terry said. Johnrose manages to find Mullin. Thomas here on the right-hand side. Cross comes in from Thomas. It's over the top, surely. The goalkeeper will take that one. And Ian Moore racing in, but nothing there. As Thomas Evans kicks again in now into the night here. Late afternoon, whatever you want to call it. Davis back header, but Torpey's going to latch onto this one. Ian Cox will chase him all the way. Torpey in possession at the byline. It's gone out. It's a goal kick as Torpey, over enthusiasm, running for that ball. Ian Cox was the man that shielded that one. Michopoulos, who really has had not really that much to do. A lot of shooting from the opposition. 8,054. That's dipped well below the 9,000 mark, but it's a cold afternoon. It's January. It's a paying job because obviously season ticket holders. And here's Guy Ipoua again. He's caused problems. He's looking at Davis, gets the challenge in right when Ipoua was going to tick him on the left-hand side. It's going to be a throw-in to Scunthorpe United. Hodges, referee blowing substitution then probably for the visitors. Then they're using a bit of tactics here. Harsley's going off. He got a knock with Glenn Little as Glenn Little come on in the second half. So it's substitute time again for Scunthorpe United. And we can resume this throw-in on this near side. Dawson. Alex Calvo Garcia. Steve Davis, blocked by the number 6, Lárusson. Graves is on. Wayne Graves is come on for Scunthorpe United. And Harsley, that's Paul Harsley, the number 2, has gone off for the visitors. The referee awarding it to Scunthorpe United then, and we're really running out of time here. Coming up to 37 minutes in the second half. About 8 minutes left, Terry.
Yeah, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of optimism on there, does there, David, at the moment? It's in fact, you know, that they're still pushing up, and he's at last been awarded a free kick as the Burnley defender with Torpey on him. And I'd have given nearly every one of those, because he's jumped with his arm out and his elbow across the player, and too cleverly, you might add, for the assistant to spot it. And quiet word, the referee with Lenny Johnrose, I can see just a bit of a contretemps with one of the midfield players. Michopoulos kicked. Johnrose wins the flick header on, but inevitably will find a Scunthorpe player. Mellon with the ball.
Stanton gets the header in. That's Paul Weller for the Clarets. Right hand side, this is John Mullin to run at this Dawson, this fullback for Scunthorpe. One way, then the other way. And who come flying in but Lee Hodges for Scunthorpe United to dispossess John Mullin. But it's the ball with Paul Weller now, edge of the area. What can he do with it? Runs into little tight corner. Weller's quite good at getting out of these. The cross comes in, it's beaten down for a corner. A corner on the right hand side. That is the third in the second half for Burnley, as Glenn Little will take this one. Can we please get a leveller here? But no, it's going to be Paul Smith to take this one for the Clarets on the right hand side, attacking the cricket field stand where all the Scunthorpe fans are. Smith floats it across back post. Lenny Johnrose is up. Corner again. Another corner to the Clarets. So can Burnley really get something from this? The 9 outfield players in the box, Scunthorpe United. They want to defend their lead. Comes in from Little. Davis with the header. But there he is, Thomas Evans to collect that one on the line. No problem for the goalkeeper. And here, Hodges off balance. And that was Weller to take it away from Lee Hodges, galloping down this near side for Scunthorpe United. And Bertie B just joining in the fun here. But there's not much fun at the moment because nobody wants to take this for Scunthorpe. They're playing the tactics, the professionalism that all clubs do when they're trying to hold on to a lead, particularly away from home. It's FA Cup round 3. Is it Burnley going to bow out? We wonder. Dawson. Hodges. Hodges trying to hold possession down this left-hand side. Dawson with it. Mullin interception there for the Clarets. And a push, a plugging of the shirt on John Mullin. And by Dawson, free kick to the Clarets. Nikolaos to take it. Got to hurry along now of the Clarets. Davis with the flick on. Payton can't get round. He can though, because he's been impeded, and there's going to be a booking for Stanton for that foul on Andy Payton.
Yeah, and Steve Davis being pushed up, David. Cotsey comes up. We've got to keep two though at the back here, just to keep our eye on the Scunthorpe player. Weller with the ball, Smith with the ball. It'll be left-footed Smith curling it in, and there's a lot of pushing going on there. Andy Payton's involved with the defender, and he wants a word as the referee with the two of them. There were handbags and pushing and arms waving about and flailing around, and the referee spotted it. But the good thing is that we can take the free kick again, and it'll be Paul Smith, left foot inside. Glenn comes rushing out wide.
It's going to be Paul Smith to take this free kick as the clock ticks on. Paul Smith with this left foot free kick. Over to the back post. Can it go in? No, it fires over the head of the whole of the Burnley attack coming into that far post, and it's a goal kick. So there you go. It's not going to happen at the moment. That free kick from Paul Smith, I thought it was well marshalled. It's not going to happen. We have approximately 4 minutes of normal time left of this FA Cup third round. And Burnley are staring yet another defeat in the face here. At least a draw would take them back to Glanford Park, but really we thought Burnley were going to go straight through here. This is Lee Hodges, an opportunity for him as he shoots straight at Nikolaos in that 6-yard box. He collects it, he kicks long, high into the afternoon dark air now as Ian Moore here. That's off Dawson's head, and it's going to be a Clarets throw-in. Mullin. And this is Johnrose, gives it back to Johnrose again via Mullin. In for Moore. Moore hustled off the ball, Johnrose went in, and it's a goal kick to Scunthorpe United. Well, 3 minutes of normal time, Burnley 1, Scunthorpe 2 here.
And that's 5 on the bounce the wrong way, David, and is this going to be Cup, the first attempt, the third rounded out? That'll make 6 on the trot, and there's a substitution, and it's Lee Hodges going off, David, and I think he's been absolutely tremendous. He's run the show for them. Where he's been available, he's covered every blade of grass, and he's absolutely jiggered. He can hardly drag himself off the pitch, but he gets a great round of applause from the travelling supporters from Scunthorpe. And if I was the manager there, I would go over and pat his back, because he's had a magical afternoon, in my opinion. He's done wonders there. Makes a difference. The substitution comes on. The kick is by the Scunthorpe keeper. 2 minutes to go. Clarets 2-1 down, and not looking like they can get back, David.
No, it only takes a second, but where things have gone in this FA Cup tie for the Clarets, you sometimes wonder. This is Little operating left-hand side for the Clarets. First one way to the byline, a good cross in, and now there's a chance here. Surely here for Weller. Shoots, the shot is blocked. Some stout defending from Scunthorpe. I thought probably Weller had an opportunity again for Clarets to draw level. But a free kick awarded by Mr. Frankland to the Clarets. A foul on John Mullin by the number 15 Graves. It's going to be the last throw of the dice as Paul Smith again takes the dead ball situation. Free kick under the commentary stand at the James Hargreaves stand. Smith again over to that back post. Little's up there, and the free kick again. It's another one. A bit of niggling going on there when that kick was taken, and Glenn Little probably the one who was the culprit. So free kick to Scunthorpe United, and what must Stan be thinking now? Booking going on for Glenn. He's had the second half match, managed to get involved in this second half, but not his favourite position, left-hand side. But anyway, it's a booking for Glenn, and Thomas Evans to take this goal kick now, this free kick for Scunthorpe United. Likely to be around 3 to 4 minutes of stoppage time in this FA Cup round 3, as the ball goes over Mitchell Thomas's head, and a free kick awarded again to the visitors. Really, it's not looking good.
And every stoppage in the favour of Scunthorpe is greeted and cheered to the echo by the travelling supporters, because they know it just eats away a few seconds here, a few seconds there. It's bound to be, as I said, very close to the final whistle, David, except for the injury time. And it's Inora, no, it's not Inora, it's Ipoua, isn't it? Just winding down, keeping possession, looking for the corner. Clearance from Burnley, not a good one.
Oh no. Well, there's opportunity for Graves to dance into the area there, and here they come again. Paul Smith with a good challenge on that left-hand side for Burnley. This is Glenn Little in possession for the Clarets. Now Johnrose, Mullin screaming for the ball on this near side, Burnley's right. Mullin in possession on the halfway line, stabs it forward. It's a bad one to Mullin, to Weller, and this is Stanton who's racing forward now here for Scunthorpe United. Into the box, shot from him. It's gone over the top from Stanton. He's got a corner, as Nikolaos must have got a hand to that one. And he really marched forward there. Nathan Stanton, the number 4 for Scunthorpe United. They've had bags of energy throughout this game. They've had bags of confidence, and Burnley really haven't done themselves proud at all. So it's going to be Dawson to take this corner for the visitors then, in the dying minutes of this Axia FA Cup round 3. This is Lárusson, and Guy Ipoua completely gets his feet mixed up and clouts it wide, left-hand post of Michopoulos. Free kick, goal kick, whatever you want to call it. Burnley are staring defeat in the face.
They are indeed, David, and they look very hungry still, don't they? Full of running, full of effort, still bearing down, still creating the chances. And since the goal in the second minute of the second half, to take the lead 2-1, really the stuffing looks to have been knocked out of the Clarets. Little glimpses of opportunities, but nothing of any big pressure up front, and Smith is going to come, all the men back except Ipoua on the halfway line. Defender Smith takes a free kick.
Paul Smith with the kick, then header. Oh, and a good save from Thomas. Oh my word, I thought Mitchell Thomas had scored, but Thomas Evans just chipped it over the bar. That would have been the last effort, and it's chance, really another corner to Burnley. The dying seconds of this FA Cup round 3. Glenn Little has stepped up to take it. Little with the corner then, into the middle, and goal! That's unbelievable! Lenny Johnrose has equalised in the last gasp effort, the last seconds of the game. Lenny Johnrose makes it Burnley 2, Scunthorpe United 2.
Yeah, the 5th corner of the game, David. We've talked about corners all afternoon, and the 5th one after the dozen in the first half is the magical number. And Lenny Johnrose there, I was just thinking, can we score from a corner? We missed the one before. I thought of Ian Cox in the first half. He'll be thinking, if only I'd put that in. And up pops Lenny there and just saves the game, pulls the irons out of the fire. Forgive the pun in reverse. And that's a sight that Brian Laws turned away, head in hands, and thought, oh no, can we go on and win this?
Well, I don't know just how long there is left from that stoppage time. The roar from the Claret fans is saying, go forward, let's go, let's kill them off. We can do, but that was a bad ball by Weller, as Scunthorpe United now in possession in their own half. Guy Ipoua, Ian Cox gets it back. But given away once again. Here's Torpey. Torpey lays it off right-hand side. A chance on here for Scunthorpe United. Good save from Michopoulos. Goodness me, that could have been 3-2 so easily. They have a corner on the near side. And that's the final whistle. So replay at Glanford Park. Burnley have saved the day. It's better than a defeat where the Clarets have gone recently. You've got to be happy with that one, as Clarets have got a draw and a replay and a chance to go through to the 4th round.
I mean, what you've got to say, David, when you look at the result to a piece, and I'm chuffed at Mimbles there, because really we were dead and buried. We were asking where the goal was going to come from, and even though it's to a piece, you've got to say, in the light of it, it was a good cup tie. A neutral would say, yeah, that was a good stuff. In the second half, I thought they had the better possession, really, and we've just pulled it out to the death. And who knows, David, it's some silly incidents like that, a goal out to nothing at the end, where the season can turn. Replay at Glanford Park in a fortnight's time, or 10 days.
Thanks, Terry. Well, that's the next game. We've got league action at Priestfield next Saturday. But Burnley, well, at least it's not a defeat. It's a draw, and they live to survive the 4th round. The replay at Glanford Park. It finished at Turf Moor. Burnley 2, Scunthorpe United 2.